Brother Love.
Hey.
And we have no stranger to the community. Actually, he's working as a strong activist as well as a politician who is running for the Go ahead.
Congress in the Minnesota 5th and DFL. I will be your next congressman. I need your support in the primary on August 14th, Tuesday. I need your support. Please show up and then come to our victory party the next day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Broadway Pizza along the river in Minneapolis.
Well, television audience, we have a lot of interesting things we want to discuss with you today. And one of these interesting things that we want to discuss with you is the fact that we want you to call in because we want to get these UDs off. We've been working with these, getting rid of these UDs, this UD amnesty bill, for a long time. And it's time we finally got someone in the office that's running for office, that's going to be in office, that's going to support us and get this bill passed, this UD amnesty bill. Because I'm telling you, people being punished for 7 to 10 years because you got laid off your job, or you got fired, or the company closed up, you know, that's ludicrous. Why should you be punished for 7 to 10 years because you couldn't pay rent for 1 month? And I think that's a travesty of justice, and I think that the government and the politicians and the ones who really have our best interests at heart, they're supposed to be pushing this UD amnesty bill. What do you think about that, Fred?
Thank you, Brother Love. I feel if you can buy a house after 4 years, after a foreclosure, you should be able to rent anywhere after 4 years after foreclosure. And I'm for complete blanket amnesty on these UDs so people get a fresh start and just say no from 1990 forward, everyone gets a fresh start. And if they screw up after that, then it's a different story. But we want everyone to have a fresh start.
That's right.
Okay, but I want to tell you something. We've talked about this many times. We have this welfare and daycare scam at Cedar Riverside. It's $100 million a year. It's not staying in the community. It's not staying in the 5th Congressional District. It's not going to North Minneapolis. It's not going anywhere. And if I think the people that are suffering from these UD amnesties, if they had an option of having about $35,000 worth of free housing, free medical, and welfare, I think if North Minneapolis could switch with the people of Cedar Riverside and let them feel what it's like to live in substandard housing, toilets that continue to run, heating that doesn't work, air conditioning that doesn't work, windows that are broken with, you know, that's what we're talking about. Here we are, people that have come to this country get treated better than our own citizens.
They do.
They should.
And you know what? I think most of us have had enough.
We have had enough. And let me tell you something, people. Like I worked, I rented from some people from different countries before, like from India and from Africa, and these people, they get all of the benefits and stuff, but the people that was born here, born and raised here, they kicked to the curb, and I think that's an injustice. What do you think, Patrice?
Well, the people that we rented from didn't fix up nothing either.
They sure did.
They don't care. It was dead in the wintertime, and it was so cold in the place that it was snow. You couldn't even look out the window. That much frost was on there. And of course, I couldn't stay there. I went to Gary and told him I love to take care by the time we got back. And guess what? He had to take people to court. It was old furnish.
So this $100 million a year, it's been going on for 5 years. The governor knows about it. 2 of the candidates running for office in the 5th Congressional District and the DFL know about it. Everyone knows about it. You all know about it. And just think, North Minneapolis, has $100 million been spent on North Minneapolis or Seward or Longfellow in your memory? I don't think so. No, they give a grant to some apartment builder who puts up a nice high-rise and charges premium rents. But that's what happens. Not the kind of money that leaves the country in suitcases at the airport. That was, and you can see this online on YouTube. KMSP did a spot on it. The Star Tribune did a spot on it. WCCO did a spot on it. Do your own research. But it's out there.
But you know what? Now, those people at the airport not doing their job. When they see any money in suitcases, period, you know, it could be $10 bills. They're not supposed to.
They're supposed to be.
They are the government. Yeah. So when they let them people walk out with that type of money, they know, you know, they ain't supposed to do that. But you know,
it's up to $1 million a day.
See, now they let them.
Now that's an awful lot.
You couldn't do it, Frank, and
No.
you couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it. But because you are a foreigner in this country, you get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, and
We'll be
plus
under
you get
jail.
subsidized. If you're a foreigner and you come here and you come here legally, they give you money, all kinds of money and stuff. So what about the people that's been here, the Caucasians and the Afro-Americans that's been here and born here and probably would die here? You can, and plus, see, another thing, I'm glad we're on this, because there's no one in this country here that can go to Saudi Arabia or Somalia or anything and
Mexico.
or run for public
Like
office.
Mexico or Canada, where I
But
yeah,
only
Canada.
here, people from all over the world can come
Run
here
for office.
and run for office. And they don't even have to be here 6 months. They don't have to be here hardly no time at all. Once you figure out how the political system works and stuff, you can run for office. And if you got enough people together, just like the Orientals and Somalis, because they all congregate together.
Yeah, win.
And if they got somebody that's running, they're gonna all vote for them. Whether it's Chinese, they're gonna all vote for Chinese. Whether it's Somali, just like Yang.
It's not so much that, Brother Love. Our millionaire governor, Governor Dayton, he doesn't even pay taxes here. He's a citizen of South Dakota.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I know everything. You always got to
It's just not right that he's had 2 terms. He's telling us what to do and how to do it and who
then
gets
go
the
back-
money, and then he
go back home to South.
as a multimillionaire, you know.
Yeah, he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, when you can find
raised
the
his
store,
taxes up.
that Macy's store.
Dayton Hudson.
Yeah, sure is. Dayton Hudson in Chicago is Marshall Field. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, until the people start getting together and voting for candidates that have their best interests at heart, we're gonna constantly be going through this. And that's one of the reasons I'm supporting Frank, because
Thank you, brother.
he's supporting the things, the ideas that's going
important.
to
Making it fair for everybody. Not
and going to
a
help
one-way
everybody.
street.
Now, just like that educational piece he was speaking about a couple of weeks ago, I feel that we, a community people, are supposed to get together and have meetings like we used to have meetings at Lucille's Kitchen on Tuesdays, and we would discuss the things that was important to the community and stuff. Just like right now, they build another train to go from the suburbs downtown someplace, maybe to the airport. Now, they're going to displace all of them people's houses, tear them down so they can build a train to there. Now, how is that helping the people? And then they got to go through change to subtract 5 another house. And it's not that simple, because you got to pay $35, $40 for application fee. And that's another thing. The people know they only have one apartment, but they'll take 10 and 12 application fees, $35, $40. Now, you know you can only give the apartment to one person. Now, you give it to that one person who you choose, but give the other people their money back, because they don't have money to be going to 6, 7 places and paying application fee for everyone. And I think that that's an injustice that should be looked into. Matter of fact, I think Jacob should have a special team that look into that. The mayor.
Well,
Jacob
not
Brown.
only in Minneapolis, it's in the suburbs. It's everywhere. Because, you know, they used to charge 30, then they went to 40, and some now $45 and $50.
For
But check
application.
this out. Some places say $100 on top of that for admission, admin fee. You know, admin, but you don't get your money. Administration fee.
I've owned rental property all my life.
Yeah.
And I had a simple philosophy. I rent to the people that had money,
Yeah.
and I didn't rent to the people that didn't.
That's right.
I would talk with them,
That's
and meet
true.
with them, and I usually would rent it to the first or second person that came through the door.
That's right.
And they just had to have a security deposit, could be a check, but the rent had to be in cash.
Yeah,
So that I didn't deal with any bounced checks.
that's smart.
And I have people currently 7 and 8 years. My longest renter was 18 years.
See?
And
Okay.
most of them rented 3 to 10 years
See?
on average. And I would upgrade the appliances, we would, go in, paint about every other year,
See, that's good.
carpeting sometimes.
That's a good landlord.
Yeah.
An excellent landlord, because a lot of them, you have to keep the same carpet until you move.
And
within
they don't
10
do
years.
no painting.
Oh, no, they don't do paint either, that's a
You
no.
come in, the
You
walls are
excellent
dirty and
landlord.
stuff, and see, and they know you desperate and stuff, cause
Yeah.
you done spent, you can't afford to be paying too many more application fees. You done already paid 3 or 4 application fees, and you've been turned down at every place, especially if you got a UD. That's one of the reasons I'm telling you people, if you got a UD or you know somebody who got a UD, tell them to call Patrice. What's the telephone number?
763-703-0546. 763-703-0546.
Now, if you want these UDs removed, you contact her, and then she'll put your name on the list, and then when we have the tenant training and certification class, because see, what happens is, once you go to these classes, the landlord, they've agreed to give the people apartment, and they pass the test and stuff. They
Get a certificate.
They got the certificate and everything. So therefore, this is very important. This is one of the reasons I want everybody on August the 14th to vote for Frank.
Thank you.
Because he's really behind this. He's really trying to push this UD amnesty bill. We've been working on this for so many years, and we got the necessary wording right. We've been to the state capitol. We've been to all of the meetings and stuff. We've been to so many meetings, and then we get so far, and then somebody snatches the rug from under.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you about that one too. All right, Love wrote it first, and then Keith, he had to rewrite it in their language.
And
Okay, and
Karen
then
Clark too.
she the last one. Then Willie Dominguez, he brought it up to the in the Capitol. Okay, then Karen Clark, she rewrote it, and actually it's a bill HR. I have to give you the number the next time I come. I'm look it up. Matter of fact, I have to papers at home. But actually, it's HR, I think 34 something. Okay, now this is what happened. We was delegates, DFL delegates. That's when I first came back up here. When was it, 2009 or 10, in that era? And do you know the delegates is actually regular people in the community?
Right.
But most of the time, it's those people that run organizations, nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
Now look here, and I counted now, do you know there was not a lot of people in the community even supported? That's right, these people had money anyway. Sorry to tell you, but most of them was black. And they did not support that UD. Okay, because they didn't have to worry about it. They got a nice house, Well, you know what? We want somebody in office that's going to support this cause.
you right.
Listen to
Interest
me,
in
let me say this, y'all. Aren't you tired the landlord won't fix nothing? Okay? And then you talk about it, they ready you
put
got
you
30 to 30, and then you take it to court and you get the UD for taking them to court. That happened a little twice. The man, because he went and complained about the thing and he wrote him up. And Jerome got the idea, he the one that took him to court about a furnace that it was freezing and there was a little baby got a pneumonia from it and it was horrible. Okay, here's another incident. We drove all the way from Ohio, Lorraine, Ohio, to this place, 26, and 26? And, over there in Newton. Okay.
2647.
The house wasn't fixed up the way that, but he said that, well, we got 2 weeks, he had the stuff fixed up. When we brought his, at the time, how was she, about 92, or 91-year-old mother back with us, the toilet was out of the daggone thing. It was on the side. She had to go over to their nephew's house,
Oh, man.
And let me tell you, it was horrible. I was working back as a nurse back in Ohio, I went back to my job and just went on call. So Love stayed there, and I went on back on call, but he wound up taking the man to court, and guess what happened? He got the UD for taking the court like that.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Aren't you tired of living that life? Are you tired of the ceiling dripping water because the ceiling ain't you sick of bats flying everywhere?
That's
Like
what I just
in our
said.
house, 5 different bats, and we was crazy for staying there one day. Actually, at night, I made him go with me to book the still on my daughter's house. I said, ain't no way I'm thinking the bats. I was screaming and run out doing my homework,
You were so
doing my
scared
homework.
of the bats.
Yeah, doing my doctorate degree,
Yep.
I was doing the paperwork 2 in the night, and that window behind me, the window right here, and I'm typing, and all of a sudden I see something in the window flying behind me. I almost fell down the
Needed
stairs.
a tennis racket.
I just think that's how I'm just sick of the rats running around in there.
We had a cat
You gotta move.
that would jump off of the thing on them bats and stuff.
Yeah, he killed that bat upstairs.
Yeah, I can't think of the cat's name at the time.
And Love, he been in Vietnam, so he not scared of nothing. And I said, you better pick it up. And he gonna pick them up every time. So that you sick of that? Are you sick of this? Every year they raise your rent up so high. You know what I'm saying? They might start out like $780. All right.
No, it's 12 to 1300 for a
See?
2-bedroom.
Now you
For a
know.
2-bedroom.
For a 2-bedroom
and we
in
had
the Twin
17.
Cities, we are the third
See?
most expensive after New York and California.
That's tough.
We are the third most expensive city.
So it's better to what, Frank?
It's better to own.
That's right.
You can own a nice property in a nice area. It can be in Minneapolis or it can be in one of our
Suburbs.
Yeah, and you just have lawn care and the stuff you always pay for anyway as a renter, and you can get in for 3% down. So that's basically your security deposit. So own.
And so now let me tell you this. You got to think about it, Glenn. The ones that's in office at the Capitol, do they give a damn about you? I'm telling you they don't. Because they could put a cap. Don't raise this rent this amount of money. But every year it goes up and up.
They care about the people that give them money,
Right.
and they care about the
Make
people that
donations.
will vote in the primaries. And so you have a bunch of weak-minded people that vote in the primaries that are dictating your lifestyle. Do you want that? I don't want that.
No.
We don't want that. In television audience, that's the reason I constantly interject the fact that you have to vote August the 14th.
For
That's
Frank
on
Drake.
Tuesday. For Frank Drake. He's running for congressman. And the congressmen have more power than you think they do.
That's right.
They can change.
A couple things that we're going to do, Jerome, and we've talked about this on the school. We want to offer vocational training. We want to offer credit reform.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that this UD amnesty, you come to that class, your husband's going to learn how to be a plumber, electrician, solar, or even nursing, and you do the UD amnesty credit reform with Pat and
Yeah.
Jerome, and 6 weeks together, you're on to a better life because your credit is improved.
That's right.
That's right. We'll have specialists working with you, and so all of our citizens will have a fresh start, and we can do this quickly and easily, even if it's done at the nonprofit level. Let's just get it started.
That's right.
See, television
I
audience.
think we're going without nonprofit waiting for them people. And we could have really got it started and move on, you know what I'm saying? But now let me tell you something.
And we're not going to have a civil war in Minneapolis.
No, we can't.
All
do
these
it.
other cities,
Can't do
yeah,
it.
all our inner cities, they hate the president. That's too bad. That's their problem. We're Minneapolis. We are not going to be in a civil war. That's why I need you to vote for me. All these other candidates, they want him out of office. And you know what? Maybe they
And
you
he
feel
ain't
that way.
did nothing to them.
Yeah, they're reliving the 2016 election.
They're mad about
Get
that.
over it. It's over.
They're mad about that.
And you don't have to like the man. You don't have to like what he stands for. Just he's the president,
And that's
and let's
it.
just move on and let's get our share.
Yeah.
And
So you
let's-
gotta be crazy to refuse your share, right?
right.
You gotta be out your mind. You know you need money to fix up different things in Minneapolis and in the suburbs too. But and then you hate somebody that's going to give you money if you have a valuable program, but they don't want that. Well, that's y'all problem because I do want the money.
Here's $100. Oh no,
I
thank
want
you.
it.
I don't like you.
Yes.
I don't like what you stand
We're
for.
gonna turn it down.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
What president ever did that? No.
what had the president did to these people that's hating them?
That's why I say no other president I want to work with people. And
4 years
help
ago,
them.
he was a celebrity. He was the
Yeah.
Celebrity Apprentice?
Yeah.
And within the
They
media.
like that, but
Do you
then
do you
when they
notice,
focus-
in TV land, you probably see this quicker than most of us. The media tells the Democrats what to say. It's not the Democrats tell the media what to say. No, they say, oh, this Russian meeting in Helsinki was a failure. Oh, why would he meet with them? That's a failure. You know, we always have to meet with our rivalries. We have to meet with them. We have to be friends. We don't have to get along with them. We just have to coexist.
Well, would you
And I
prefer
have
war?
one, yeah,
Would you prefer war? You know, having them hating each other and stuff? And
yeah,
pushing
your
them to
children
war?
going off to some foreign land.
Yeah, would you like that?
Yeah, so that's what the
Chances
military-industrial
are they ain't gonna-
complex
they ain't
wants.
gonna make it back.
But I'm going to tell you something. The next war will be over here.
You think the war gonna be over here?
Yep. I'm going
I
to tell you
hope
why. Well, I hope not too. But I'm going to tell you why. The United States always go over with other people, right? Now, you don't think the law of conservation going to come back? Yes, it will.
Unintended
And
consequences.
cause of very bad disobedience. Okay? It's going to come. These people are already over here watching everything, listening in good jobs, you know, top rated jobs.
The UN is
and ready to, you know, yeah.
The UN Army is in Chicago. They're in some of our major cities, just because the mayor is there, allow them.
What about
And they're-
Minneapolis?
I don't know about Minneapolis. I
Well,
don't
for
think
sure
so,
Chicago.
but for sure Chicago. And, you know, I don't know if they even have a visa to come here. But, you know,
They probably don't need none. They follow them.
Well, our government knows everyone who comes over here. They know whether they're illegal or legal. Our government knows about them, and as a result, they give they have their picks and chooses. They let certain people come in, and people that can have a little influence to help them and get some votes and stuff. They'll let them in.
and if you look at Africa, the UN has been there as peacekeepers while there's genocide
Yeah,
and people
yeah.
die of starvation.
Yeah.
The UN watched over Haiti as the Clinton Foundation
Ripped them off.
global initiative stole $1 billion of money,
That's
and
right.
Haiti did nothing, or the UN did nothing for the people of Haiti. They didn't build anything other than some structures for the UN people, the watchers or whatever.
Now, I wonder if it was a
supervisors.
European country, would that would happen? No, it was a black country,
Yeah.
and they didn't care. And now listen to this one. What I can't think of it right quick. What country is right next to Haiti? It's one
The
country.
Dominican Republic.
Right.
And it's on the same island, divided by and they have
completely different. Completely
Yes.
different. Like paradise next to that, you know, the Haiti. Yeah.
standard of living is about 2-3 times.
Right.
Yeah, they speak a different language. It's Spanish. In the
Right.
Dominican Republic, it's French, Creole,
In
Yeah.
Haiti.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, television audience, I want to bring your attention to is these people have the audacity to want to support a bill that passes martial law. Now, in other words, these FEMA camps, like in all these Walmarts, they close up these Walmarts, and they've been showing on television for the last 6-7 months, all of these trucks, these army trucks and stuff, going to these Walmarts and stuff, going to the basement, and they're making FEMA camps out of it. And then FEMA actually is like a place where you be restrained. It's like a penitentiary almost. You don't like it. And I feel that if you can build all of this, why you can't support some buildings to put these people in? Why they got to sleep in tents like in San Francisco and different places?
You're talking about our homeless.
Yeah. And San Diego, and it's tall. And LA,
Yeah.
they got all those blue tents.
It's ridiculous.
But they can't build no affordable houses for them.
Yeah, the houses that they build up in Minneapolis, they were rich folks because just like when we went down there when we talked about $2,000 for one bedroom, but it was on the 14th floor and stuff. I say, oh no. And this was what, about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, TV land, your best option is to own because it's only going to get more expensive, and the sooner you get into a house, the better off you and your family and your extended family is going to be. And I don't care if you're a first generation Minneapolitan, or whether you're been here all your life and your family's been here, just own something.
You're right.
It's renting is done with. Just, you gotta own.
And another thing, people, you can start your own business. If it ain't nothing but a landscaping business, cutting grass, if it ain't nothing but a cleaning and hauling business, cleaning out people's buildings and haul the stuff away and stuff. Because I had them type of businesses, and I made very well. Unfortunately, like I had it out with the Public Housing Authority, and so I lost my
No,
contract.
because he didn't want to pay the people.
No, they went, James Henry sent us through some changes, and then what
And
was
them
her
people
name?
need their money. They cleaned up.
Yeah, they, all of them, and one of the boys was diabetic.
Yeah, he
And
need to get his insulin.
What was her name? Corbett,
Yeah.
who's president.
Because Jerome told him, anybody what you tell her, he called, he said, what?
Yeah, well, she.
Well, he may not remember, but I remember. He told her, he said, look here, James would not pay. It's been 3 weeks now, they haven't got their check. And he said, now, the next TV show I'm going to do, I'm going to say, anybody that have a gripe with public housing and want to be on my show, give me a call. And she said, hold on, Brother Love, that next hour. She said, come on and get your check.
Yeah.
Said, go down. And then I told him something that made a minute. I forgot what I told him. Now I forgot for real. But you know what? You know, anybody, it'd be a lot of people lining up there to be with them people.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to put them on TV like that. But then that was it.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go talk with Ben Carson, who's in charge of
Great.
HUD. I'm going to say our inner cities, we want to restore the housing.
Yes,
We
yes.
want families back in these housing. And, you know, if people want to live in a high rise, they can do that. But we want families gentrifying our old established neighborhoods
Yes.
that have fallen on tough times. Put a new roof on, put new windows in, put a new boiler in, air conditioning if necessary, and then give people a 2-year lease and then let them go from there. And if they can't, you know, if you give them a new house and they can't hang on to it, well, then someone else will take over because it's a
Sounds like a
nice
good
property. Yeah, and it's not that expensive. It's probably about $20,000 a house.
What do you think they might say? See Hood about that?
Ben Carson runs.
I know it.
Yeah.
I'll see Hood.
Yeah.
Not Hood. The one in St. Paul. You know that Hood.
Oh, that's Section 8, it's HRA.
Is it?
Yeah.
When they be building houses in North Minneapolis, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know those. You'd have to tell me.
They
about
didn't build a
Somebody told
lot
me
of
it
big.
was
Oh, they're building apartment buildings, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, the Hood. Remember we lived on 26th and 3rd, in that park right across the street?
Yeah.
The Hood houses. You know that the neighborhood be fixing on that one time?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing you're talking about?
No, it was some people, it was a group of people. that
Sinead was one of
They
them
go
that was
by,
picking up, that
fix-
was fixing the
fix
house.
people's houses.
For other people that live there.
What
I think
was
there
But
was
even
a-
if we work through like Simpson Housing, we could work through Habitat for Humanity.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, see,
That's
those,
what I'm
but
talking about.
those are nonprofits that are restoring these old grand
Yeah, that's what
houses. Because if
That's
if the roof rots, the house is shot. You've got
Yeah.
to save the roof.
And plus, you know, like you got termites that's in the wood, and you don't even know. Because I wouldn't even know a termite if I seen one. If I've been seeing on television lately with Terminex, you know, like they go give you a free estimate and stuff. And
Well,
checks.
Frank, yeah, he make me itch talking about termites. Yeah. I did my lyrics too. Oh, we talking about that. Listen. Oh, so you're talking about building the house from scratch? Is that what you're talking about? Just replacing it with something?
Restoring these grand old houses that were built between 1900 and 1950 or 60. And these houses used to sell for the same prices as the ones in South Minneapolis. But then the Great Society came in and they said, oh, you're going to get all this and that. And everyone fled North Minneapolis.
Is that right?
And they fled our inner cities, and the prices of real estate stayed at the same level until about 1995. And they started going up, and then there was the housing correction that kind of knocked them back again. But even now, you probably can't buy a house in North Minneapolis for $200,000.
That's ridiculous. Over there.
You used to be able to get them for 60.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
now
you've been-
Wild Wild
you've
West
been
is
in
what?
real estate for a
200,000. That's too much to live away over there.
Yep.
I mean, it really is.
And you know, I bought houses and I always hung on to them. I would buy them, and my goal was to hang on to them for 10 years. I never flipped a house.
Okay.
Ever.
But that's good.
Yeah, well, see, that's what most people should be thinking about, something of that nature. Now, just like I was telling you about the businesses, you know, like you can get contracts from HUD, you can get contracts from Public Housing Authority, you know, like, and you tell them you want to do cleaning in Harlem, and so they'll have you sign a contract and stuff, and for X amount of time, and then you tell them how many workers that you have and stuff, and they'll work it out with you, because they was, you know, Corey McCorvey, she was very nice to us.
Yeah, she was really nice.
Yeah, and she used to.
But she retired now, baby.
Yeah, she is. And, her and Sharon Sales Building used to be together all the time.
Really nice. So you know what? So now with Frank, okay. So now he wants this school that you know that they don't
Vocational,
have to pay to go. Okay, they don't have to pay.
vocational training, because college isn't for everyone, and we have to have options, and we should be teaching nursing, and we should be teaching credit reform, credit
Right.
reconciliation, so that you avoid this UD amnesty going forward. Correct that problem, nip it in the bud, and then give yourself a clean slate, and you can live anywhere.
Yeah,
And get your house.
we got to get this UD amnesty.
Get your house.
passed. Because we don't get this passed, we just beating our heads up against the wall for nothing.
And how long was you working on this law?
Yeah,
20
how
years.
long have the Democrats been working on this?
They ain't been working on it. They just did a few things for him.
Yeah.
Love is the one that's been out in the
That's right.
streets doing it.
Everyone else
He
is
has.
talking about it, but they're not
That's
doing
right.
anything.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Now you don't even hear him talk about it, do you?
no. The last one
All right.
who talked about it was,
Karen?
no, not Karen, what's that, Dominguez?
No, he came before Karen. Because Karen wrote the final thing. Karen Clark, she wrote the final thing.
Keith wrote the first one.
Yeah, he wrote the first. Dominguez, he didn't write nothing, but he did talk about it when he was in the Capitol. But at that time, they weren't even interested. And that was before we went to Ohio, 2007.
Yeah, because Jeff Hayden, Senator Jeff Hayden, he tried to go before they had me to speak and stuff, and
They closed it off.
yeah,
They
yeah,
read it.
they said it was a time limit and stuff. You know, I mean, these politicians, they do whatever they want to do and stuff. That's one of the reasons we got to have a politician in there to have our best interests.
Enough for the other people's best interest.
Honesty,
What about
integrity,
our best interest?
and,
integrity too.
Yeah, and
And he won't be
And
telling you
he-
stuff
and good character.
and be lying and carrying on. If he says that he's going to try to do something, and he will put it into place, we know.
right.
And so you want somebody that
You can-
integrity.
Show up on
Trustworthy.
time, give you a timetable when it's going to
trustworthy,
happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, we haven't even talked about decriminalizing marijuana. No one should ever go to jail again. No one should ever
No.
have to lose their house or their car because of asset forfeiture. And they shouldn't have a legal bill of $2,500 because the police smelled dope in their car.
Yeah, 2,500.
That's
Yeah,
pretty much
if-
standard.
If somebody's smoking a joint in
Yeah.
the car and the police stop it and they smell it, they can
Go to jail.
Yeah.
2,500.
We already have
Yeah.
the medical marijuana here. I mean, let's just decriminalize
But
it
see-
across the country. And, you know, if you get caught being stupid, it's a $200 fine, maybe something, maybe $100 fine, whatever's reasonable.
You know, like Tim was saying, in Denver, Colorado, and Seattle, Washington, we don't have the problem. They don't have the problems that we have here.
And they're not in the
Because-
red.
Oh, the opioid epidemic is gone down in Colorado because they legalized weed.
Mhm. And see, so people ain't gonna be taking no opioid when they get some good herb.
Now, is they still up with that opiate stuff?
You know, the
Minnesota.
pharmaceutical industry,
It's still-
they run so much of this government. You know, if you're not on board with the pharmaceuticals, I mean, there's more money in pharmaceuticals than there is in healthcare. And yet everyone says, oh, we want affordable healthcare. Well, make prescriptions. You probably take prescriptions for your heart or your diabetes or anything like that? Yes?
No.
I don't have
Jerome, you got to push a pill down his throat. Literally, I can threaten him.
Maybe I'm talking to the-
He's very
okay,
intelligent.
but, you know,
I said, open your mouth before I throw it in.
Mo-
And I literally had to put it in his
Not
hands
even-
like
not
this.
even- not even an aspirin?
He don't like no pills.
Okay.
And you do it like this, and then I have to make sure, and then Jim point out, because he would not, he said, I'm hurting. He don't have, he'd be 70, no diabetes,
The typical
no
American,
heart, and even no high blood pressure. Can you believe it at his age?
the typical American takes 13 drugs every day.
They-
Now, they're
I
not
believe
all
that.
pharmaceuticals, but they're taking something in a pill form 13 different times. Now, some people are taking 26, and some people are like Jerome and taking none. So,
You have to beg him.
yeah.
You say you hurt, but you have to beg him.
I
He
had-
said, no, I'm not gonna take it. He
I-
will touch me. He want me to lay hands. Touch me. He said, stop hurting.
But you know, there's some things, like I have a touch of arthritis in my right knee, so I take something for pain.
I do too.
Yeah.
I take Motrin.
Her
or
knees-
Aleve.
her
You see how
knees
big
too.
they are?
Yeah.
See TV land, how they swollen? You know what that is? That's inflammation
Water.
from a bad diet.
Fluid.
No, from a bad diet.
Yeah.
You know what? Listen here. All that stuff that I eat, if I just stop it, but it's not easy. You have to slowly stop it. I bet you won't have no inflammation.
Well, I don't eat that much, as you know.
Sure that's not from dancing?
No, And you know what? If I don't go and dance, guess what? I can hardly walk.
Yeah.
One time, this is recent, I didn't go out for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And boy, it was really hurting. And then when I went out and started dancing, I felt much better.
Go to Facebook and look up Mother Love and look at some of her beautiful pictures of in her dancing outfits.
Oh, yeah.
She'll put on 2 or 3 outfits in the same evening, and it's just fantastic.
No, I won't say you did that. Those, you talking those long robe gowns that I got from Ohio?
Yeah.
I got about 12 or 15 of those long, beautiful gowns, different color, and a lot of them I never wore, still got the price tags on, but I don't go nowhere. So I said, forget it, I might as well wear
You
when I go
to
out.
Elks.
Yeah.
But I said, I might as well wear them when I go out, because I wouldn't wear no, where else do we go? That kind of dress you don't wear to an Elks.
Yeah.
You wear if you're going somewhere downtown elegant or something,
Yeah.
a reception or something, but I'm gonna wear, you know, hell, you know, I might well. But anyway, getting back to Frank, because this program is all building Frank up. The reason we have him every week on this show, because you might have missed one of them, and so now you know what his platform is. Go ahead, Frank.
It's no civil war with the federal government. Minneapolis, the 5th CD, the state, we are neutral. We are neutral. That means we don't take one side or the other. We don't care. We're like Switzerland. We don't care. You know, you could say, I'm angry. I don't care. He's a moron. I don't care. We don't like them. I don't care. We want the money. And we want to decriminalize marijuana. We want to have these 6 weeks vocational training.
Yeah.
We respect our gay men and our lesbian women, and we feel that no foreign aid goes to any country that torments the gay lifestyle here, in the Middle East, or in the Muslim world. No foreign aid.
Middle East, you know, like they cut the heads off. They call me.
Sure.
So no foreign aid, and no more funding of these foreign wars. We are done. That money is going to stay here in the homeland, in the USA, in America. We're going to spend it on our citizens. We're not going to be spending it buying things that blow other people up.
Well, tell me something.
So terrible.
Like these people,
Boy.
like in Syria and
The refugee crisis.
North Korea and stuff. Like, see, they really don't have our best interest in heart. I didn't even know we've been fighting Syria for a long time now. A long
How
time.
long have you been, Frank? Do you know?
Well,
I-
actually, the
we
war
bombed
was
them.
this kind of proxy war by the CIA, who starts most of our wars. They did the
Yeah.
Bay of Pigs. They did the Syrian war. They convinced us to go into Iraq. They convinced us to go into Afghanistan. When they knocked down the Taliban in 4 weeks, but yet here we are, 18 years later, still fighting in Afghanistan and not receiving anything. We're not getting the rare earth minerals. China's on the backside mining those while we're
That's right.
fine. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Everything is
there was
made in
no
China.
opium or heroin. It came out of Afghanistan while the Taliban was there. We go in there, CIA takes over, and all of the heroin, it either comes from Mexico
Poppy seeds.
or comes from Afghanistan. So this is the CIA run amok.
Mexico
Killing
too.
our people, our
Well, we've been in
the
war
high school
with
students.
North
4
Korea.
kids in Hudson, Wisconsin died of overdoses
Did
in
they?
2017 from heroin. and they make heroin in a pill form now, so you don't have to shoot up. You got San Francisco, they let these people shoot up all along the sidewalk, and they have these IV drug-free zones where people could shoot up. I mean, is this the level of society we want to be at? Do we have to go to the least common denominator? Can't we raise the bar? I mean, don't we have minimum standards?
Those are no standards, and that's it. You let people shoot up, and those contaminated needles, and
Allowing our governments to poison our own citizens?
Yeah, and plus, that's another thing. Most of these governments that we was mentioning, they be killing their own people. I mean, killing them.
The greatest killer of society is government.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese communists killed over 100 million people. The Soviets, not Putin, but the Russia, the Soviet, USSR,
Khrushchev and all
killed 50 million of their own citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Nazi Germany, 25 million. And you got the
Mussolini.
Khmer Rouge in Cambodia, I think they killed like 3 million, Pol Pot. So government kills more people than any handgun will ever
the
kill.
ones who elect the government officials.
But I don't know if they elect them over there, do they?
They
Some
have
places
to. They just can't, you know,
No, it's
it'd be a dictatorship.
Yeah.
But some of my dictators. Go ahead now.
Well, most of them is dictators.
And right now you have Nicaragua's in civil war.
Okay.
You have Venezuela, there's no food.
Yeah.
These are all these socialist utopia that all the young people think is so grand and glorious, and it's just a failure waiting to happen. And they want to bring this to America. It's can't happen.
Well, we can't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Because right now, we're fighting to get rid of these UDs. We're fighting to get Frank in the office so he can push this UD amnesty bill. I mean, it has to be pushed harder than it's been pushed lately. You know, one of the reasons I backed him, because I got discouraged and disappointed in my people, because here I'm fighting for them every kind of way there is. And I can't even get their support, and I'm fighting for them.
Right.
And so this is one thing, people that are fighting for you, you've got to support them. Frank is fighting for you.
Yes,
We
he
have
is.
got to support him on all his support
Yeah.
team. We have got to. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our children.
Now you see what you got now. So do you want to continue to live in the fashion that you're not even exceeding, or do you want to, like you say, raise the bars and move up?
Raise the bar.
So you got to raise the bar and go for Frank.
August 14th, Tuesday, in 2 weeks from this Tuesday.
Time going so
Now,
quick.
do you
isn't it?
have any way that they can get in touch with you?
Sure, they can go to my website, frankdrake.com. They can, which is on the internet, very easy, and they can comment on anything I write about. They can say anything they want. They can even donate to my campaign if they wish.
And if you would like to come on one of our shows, give Patrice a call at 763-70 something. You know,
She don't even know. 763-703-0546. 763-703-0546.
I told
Say,
you this
Brother
morning.
Love, did you still understand that I'm not on the Star Tribune voter guide?
Still not.
Still not. Even though I met with the Star Tribune editorial board, Lori Sergevant, Doug Tice, John Rash, had a wonderful conversation. Met with, had an interview with Dave Lee on CCO Radio on the 4th of July. I've spoken with the Sun Current editorial board, and they just,
For some reason,
I don't know what it is. It's the
Turning
media.
it
The
back.
media controls the politics for the Democrats. You know,
What else
I
is-
am a Democrat, and I see this, and they pick winners and losers. And you know who's above the media? Google. You Google who is a moron, and it'll say the President of the United States. It just goes. It won't even. It's not even an information source. So you don't have to like the president. You could hate him. I don't care. But it's not. Google is no longer an information source. It's a disinformation source that's run by the CIA. And much like Facebook is shadow banning and Twitter is shadow banning people that have a differing opinion, I think you'll be surprised to learn that a lot of people who have accounts are not even going out to anybody.
What do you mean you're not going out to
You think you have these followers that are,
right?
and
They don't show
it's like a dome. You're in a dome, and it's not going out to this free internet. The internet has been co-opted. It was
Compromised.
It's been compromised. The UN owns it. You can't say certain things, or you go to jail for 6 months. You can't.
What?
Certain,
I know they'll cut you
In
down.
some countries, you go to jail for longer than that.
yeah.
Seriously. And see,
Well, all countries, you go to jail, you probably get killed. You talk about their president.
We have free speech.
They do that.
And free speech is the driver of innovation and
Yeah.
discovery. And as soon as you stifle free speech by saying certain words are unacceptable, you don't have to like them. You don't have to agree with them. But they are a driver. Think of Copernicus. I think they threw him in jail because he said the sun was the center of the universe. At that time, we don't know that now the sun is part of the Milky Way, which is part of a billion galaxies that it's part of the universe. But originally they thought the Earth was the center of the universe and everything else went around the Earth, which is simply not the case. So I had a discussion, and you guys will laugh. I said they have pictures of the Earth because we went and gone to the moon. And they have pictures, and I said that most of the pictures of the Earth are a computer rendering. Because if you look, it's always
But
the
you're
same.
right.
It's the same picture.
You're right.
And
then they got-
they said, oh no. And there's like 5 pictures that were taken from the moon, and the rest are computer generated pictures of what the Earth we envision the Earth to be.
well, television audience, let me tell you something. If what he, in accordance with what he's saying, you know, there's no wind and stuff up there in space, but you see the flag fluttering and
That's
stuff
right.
in every one of the pictures.
Okay.
And you say, well, how is that possible if it ain't no?
Most
if it ain't
people
no
don't pay
air?
attention to that, though.
No, I
They
guess
believe
they
in the
don't.
moon, but we know better. But anyway, and then not only that, let's start with an M. I should write it down next time I see it. Mercator's map. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
They use that Mercator's map.
Marcadia.
Yeah, they use that map.
Mhm.
Okay, now look here. The globe always change. If you look at different years and
Sure,
stuff,
yep.
it never stayed the original thing. Number
Yep.
2. Number 3, look it up to you, Larry. YouTube, Amelia Earhart. Remember her?
Right.
Okay, and when she was traveling twice, she said, "Oh, these maps is not right." And so I went the third time. When I went down and
That's
knew
when
that
she
the map,
disappeared.
that's right.
Yep.
She said the map is not right.
Right.
Okay,
She tried. This is a woman in the 30s.
30s.
Tried to fly around the world.
Yeah.
And she got to someplace like Indonesia or Borneo, and that was where they don't know where she landed.
right.
Yep.
She just disappeared.
Yeah.
Just like the people who go through the Bermuda Triangle.
oh yeah, that's really scary. I wouldn't go down there.
Yeah, you don't know. When you be on one of them big old ships and stuff, when you go through that Bermuda Triangle, it's a chance that you may not be seen again.
You know, it's so funny. Like Russia is such a huge country, and most of the airplanes fly over Russia because it saves thousands of miles. And you think of all the recycling you do, like say a family of 4, they recycle diligently for a year, and that's the equivalent of flying across the Atlantic to London. And so everyone's saying, oh, I got to do my thing, I got to do my thing. Well, you know, we also want to be, you know, advance in the world and technology. So, you know, flying, you know, being able to travel to go see your children or grandchildren or going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to get so bent out of shape over these greenhouse gases, just realize that everything you do to recycle is the equivalent of flying for a year is flying across the Atlantic. And most of us don't think twice about flying across the Atlantic. So
I do.
I think we have to re-examine this whole notion of this climate change, because I think we're going to be able to store energy, store heat without it, because carbon is essential to life. If we don't have carbon, we don't exist. And I think they're trying to shrink the population.
You're right, depopulation.
Depopulation. Well, you know what? That white stuff that they shoot out the airplanes,
Chemtrails.
the chemtrails,
Yeah.
that has been killing so many people, and we just now became aware of how many people it's been killing in the last 6 months. Matter of fact, most of the people in Chicago, or at least half of them,
Most of them get cancer.
got
So
cancer.
they really doing it over there.
And see, and now if they've been shooting this. I know they've been shooting the chemtrails here because I've been seeing it in the skies.
And I heard him go in the house. I said, hurry up, run in the door and lock it. Now let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Those chemtrails, do you remember seeing them when you was a little boy?
Yeah.
In Chicago. That's
Yes,
right.
I
When we
did.
was kids, we remember.
No, you saw
we didn't know what it was.
the airline, and it would evaporate after about 2 miles.
Yeah.
I used to think
And
they
now
was
these
called
things,
skyline.
these things last for 50 miles.
That's why the clouds is probably real big. Have
Yeah,
you
we're
ever
talking
seen
about the
clouds?
exhaust of a plane at about 50,000 feet flying across the skyline. You see the thing, and we used to watch it disappear.
Yeah,
It
that's
would-
right.
Yeah, because it would, the hot versus the cold, and the cold would win.
But
'cause
now
it-
they last, don't they?
Yeah.
But what about them clouds? TV Lane, you see no great big billowy clouds. I mean, real thick. Do you remember seeing them? That got to be from the chemtrails. Because they show the sky, you can't even see, it's real big and thick.
Well, it's a lot of technology that we are involved in right now that do not have humanity's best interests at heart.
Oh, some of these storms,
Yeah.
they have this giant antenna, I think it's off of Alaska, that can create storms. And it can give rain to some countries and not rain to others. And they have one, I think, in the Caribbean, and we had those waves of, Puerto Rico and stuff like that.
You see what happened down there?
Yeah.
But Frank, we got 3 or 4 states right here
North Dakota, too.
that creates different weather conditions.
Fargo.
Like they see the clouds and stuff, and they won't make it rain. Now we've had more tornadoes this last couple of years than ever before in
Yeah.
history. Ever before. Sometimes we can get as many as 24, 25 tornadoes going at one time in different spots and stuff. And the tornadoes are moving. It was a guy who was talking on the radio.
Well, we do live in the tornado belt.
Yeah, we do.
But, I mean, there's always going to be.
Tornado Alley.
Probably Iowa and Missouri get more than we do.
Oh, yeah,
Arkansas,
it's real
Arkansas,
big.
yeah.
Oklahoma used to be
Yeah.
the ones who used
Yeah.
to get.
Oh, yeah, they get the worst.
And,
How come they don't have no basements built in the houses down south? Do you know?
well, they have bases everywhere.
They don't in Texas. No, they don't. Look it up. I've been
Oh,
there
yeah, okay.
4 times. They didn't have no in Dallas.
They got to have an Air Force base in Texas.
I said, no, the basement in the house.
Oh, basements.
That's what I said, how come they don't have none? Because the snakes probably...
No. Well, Chicago, a lot of homes don't have basements in Chicago. They're built on a slab.
See, I
That's
never
what you call a
noticed that.
California Rambler. It's a Rambler without a basement. We do it because we have to dig below the grade for the footings, so it's a lot easier to build a basement and make that usable space. But these climates that don't have that deep freeze, they just pour a slab.
Because all the houses we built in Chicago, they had basements, didn't they, love? Every last one of them.
Yeah, because all the buildings I had in Chicago had basements.
We were surprised. Well, go ahead.
But getting back to the election people, now I need you to focus, think about what we discussed. You know, like if you got UDs, or if you know somebody who got UDs, you tell them to call Patrice, and so she can put you on the lieutenant training and certification list, so that you can get your certificate, and then you can go to any landlord without having to give him $35, $40 for an application fee. And he'll give you an opportunity, even if you got a UD, because we got to get this UD amnesty bill passed,
We do.
so we can get all these UDs
Exactly.
expunged off of everybody.
And
And it's
think-
free.
think- think about-
Classes are free.
And think about decriminalizing marijuana, how much easier your life will be if you know that if you make a mistake, it's just $100. You're not going to jail. You're not suffering humiliation. You should never suffer that ever again. And think about learning a vocational skill in 6 weeks. And you know what? I was talking to a constituent in St. Louis Park, her name is Veronica.
Okay.
She said nursing. People that, we have a growing population of older people, and there's not enough people to help.
Take care of
And you, if you want, and you don't have a skill, nursing, by far, you know, you're changing a person's, you know,
Passing out.
helping them get to the bathroom, you know, that's the downside of it. But it's good money, you can support your family, and it's a ready job today, TV Land.
Okay, now, one thing that I want to bring to everybody's attention, we have these unions, you know, like painting and decorating union, the welding union, the pipe layers union. Now,
The unions are okay, they guarantee a certain wage.
yeah, but see, you got to pay X amount of money to be in these unions. And if you don't have these certificates, appropriate certificates, you can't get a job in any of these places that support the unions. And most of the people support the unions because they need them contractors. Because if you want a good painter, a good welder, or a good pipe layer, you go to the union and they can send you to whoever else they have.
But this is more on the commercial thing. Like if you're building a 10-story building or an 8-story apartment building, it's going to be unionized because it's they're going to have insurance to cover in case someone gets hurt. They're going to guarantee the quality.
Yeah.
And so there's a benefit to someone. But like if you're a homeowner and you just want John Q. Public to paint your house, he doesn't have to be a union person. It could be Andy Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Or it could be George Lindmeyer. It could be anybody out there.
Well, you've got to be a part of the union if you want to get some of these contracts and stuff. You know, like you got to be paying union dues. Matter of fact, you know what? When they was building them buildings over there on what's all the new with the thing was sinking down and stuff and all that oil.
Oh yeah.
Around Pleasant.
Heritage Park.
Heritage Park. Them people, you know, I tried to get one of the contracts there, and they told me.
All right, though.
You
Talk too much to you,
I didn't do the work right. They would break my legs.
No.
And so we come back and said, you
No,
won't, because he was going to hire people to do it, you know. Because they were going to pay him bacon wages. Bacon Davis wages. But you know what? And we say it ain't worth it, because what if somebody don't do it right? So we say, nah.
No, my legs is worth too much.
It's not worth being greedy, TV Land. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's bad karma.
Yeah.
Greed kills.
That's right.
And then
you know what to do in life.
Help the
what not to
needy,
do.
not the greedy. And see, right now, we need your vote. August the 14th. Vote for Frank Drake for Congress.
The Drake.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you
you'll
know,
be so happy.
I'll be whoever wins the primary is going to be your congressman for the next 10 years. I only want to serve 3 terms, which is 6 years. You can decide after the first term if I've done my job. If you have, I'm going to spend less money on campaigns than these other people, and they can compete against me. But I will have your best interests at heart, and I will work for the whole city, the whole Minneapolis congressional district, and Minnesota.
1 minute.
And you know I love you, and I've made that clear abundantly.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to say the number again, 763-703-0546. Mother love.
Frank, say your final.
Thank you very much. You know I stand for being neutral, no civil war in the Minneapolis, the 5th CD or Minnesota. We will decriminalize marijuana, and I want to have these vocational skills where you learn something quickly, you can work here or anywhere, make 3 times the minimum wage. Brother love.
And television
I need your
audience,
vote.
it's been a pleasure coming before you as usual. And as we said, we need your support. And I'm just going to say this, may the awareness of the Almighty Eternal be constantly demonstrated through you. Power
Power to the people.
All right, man.